Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here in Sonoma Valley, California for the first look media event of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is the all-new, first ever 2024 Mazda CX-90. Our particular one is the new plug-in hybrid version. But before I get into this standard all-wheel drive, hyper-miling, three-row midsize SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Mazda. They are really trying to up the ante with their lineup of vehicles and really trying to bring a higher luxury feel, fit, and finish and add it to that driving engagement that they're known for in the industry. Now, we already brought you a lot of the competitors in this class, the Telluride, the Palisade, even the Chevy Traverse and Ford Explorer, but one that stands out in my mind, which is definitely what the CX-90 is gunning for, is that new upcoming Toyota Grand Highlander and even the Highlander, both available as hybrids. Not plug-in though, like this particular model is. With the change in the auto industry moving towards electrification, is it a smart idea for Mazda to invest in both a new plug-in electric hybrid variant and also that straight six 3.3 liter turbocharged engine? Well, let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out if this CX-90 is the better new SUV to buy over the Toyota Highlander and Grand Highlander. Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, the color. This beautiful bright white in the California sun fits the body lines very nicely. At the front of the business, you're gonna see familiar design style, but with a twist. Love the way they work the headlight housing. You'll see how it's sort of sunken into the front fascia. Of course, you're gonna get full LED lighting all the way around. And what's nice is you're also getting those adaptive headlights that turn with the steering wheel to help illuminate the road in front of you. Now on the lower portion, I love how we have functionality. You can see the massive opening with that corner air curtain, and I love the way that they carve the design into the front fascia. A little bit of flat black on the front, nothing too crazy, but definitely right away you can see compared to the CX-9, which is the current three-row midsize SUV in Mazda's lineup, this one really brings it up another level. And if you're comparing it to the Highlander and Grand Highlander, definitely much more style here. Now, as we come across the front grille area, you'll see that familiar shape. It matches the Mazda logo within the grille, shiny bright chrome finish with the turn signals just blended in perfectly. You get this multi-position grille area, full gloss black with the vertical slots, forward-facing camera, and then on the lower portion, more of that functionality for the lower radiator area to get fresh, cool air and a little bit of chrome trim. Now, with this being a plug-in electric hybrid, we do have a lithium-ion battery pack, which is in the bottom of this vehicle that separates it from the 3.3 liter turbocharged CX-90. But definitely from the front, you can see how this vehicle is wider than the CX-9. Now, and when we get up onto that hood, nice long hood, clean lines. I think that's one of the things I've always liked about Mazda compared to the other brands, especially Toyota, is that you don't get these hard creases. Everything has a nice, subtle smoothness to it without it looking like some kind of weird marshmallow. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So what you're gonna find are these nicely styled wheels. Machined aluminum with the gloss black. The wheel size is gonna be a 21-inch wheel, which is great. And then if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tire? 275, nice wide tire. Love the way that they just did a nice little subtle with the machined aluminum, nothing too crazy, but it looks Mazda, which is really smart. Now on this particular one, it does not have the painted fender openings, and that to me is a little bit of a bummer, but depending on which way you spec it, which guess what? There's like 11 different ways to trim out the new CX-90. There's ways to get this color matched as well. You can even have different seating sizes, 6-passenger, 7-passenger, or 8-passenger. Can't do that on a Highlander or even the upcoming bigger Grand Highlander. But you do have regen braking and also, like I said, that lithium-ion battery pack and all-wheel drive, standard. Now coming down the side, you do have a little bit of badging. This is an easy way to find out if it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with that badging, a little bit of chrome finish. Don't like the fake vent. Zonked that. Zonked it before, I'm zonking it again. They should have just trimmed it. I feel like getting a X-Acto knife and kind of carving that off and just taking it right off of there. But this pearlescent white really pops. It's a nice bright pearlescent white. You have it on the mirror caps. You got your super small LED turn signals, flat black along the bottom with a little bit of that chrome finish, and we do have color matched door handles, which are great. Plus, I like the way that they did the trim only along the top. Whenever they do that on SUVs, it seems like it's not so top heavy. You do, of course, have your roof rails, which you can get the accessory crossbars. Really take this on a nice far family trip with a cargo basket up there. Working towards our rear, you'll find those 21-inch wheels looking really good, looking sleek with the flat black. I'm very happy that they did not take the flat black like halfway up the body, like on the smaller CX-30. And then when we get to the rear, this is where you still see that great curved, nice, clean shape design. Now, this easily could have been taken away if they would have made the back spoiler just a little bit longer, but the way they do their taillights, I'm telling you, some great style really makes it look like it's off a vehicle that costs twice as much. CX-90 all-wheel drive. And then another area where you're going to get your plug-in electric hybrid badge is right there underneath the passenger side rear taillights. Now, working our way all the way down, super clean. I like the way they didn't make anything look like a fake exhaust, a fake vent, nothing like that. Curves underneath, super clean. And you can tow with this plug-in electric hybrid. I'm not going to tell you yet. Why don't we go pop the hood, check out the power plant, and we'll talk numbers on the CX-90. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath the hood, like I said, you have a choice. 3.3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine. We have that one coming for the drive, the first drive. This is the plug-in electric hybrid. So what are we talking about exactly? You're looking at a 2.5-liter inline-4 underneath that massive engine cover. I do like the engine cover, especially with the Mazda badge and that plug-in electric hybrid badge as well. This is rear-wheel drive base, just like the 6-cylinder turbo. With the electric motors, you're looking at 323 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. It utilizes a 17.8 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack mated to a new 8-speed automatic transmission. That electric motor is a 100 kilowatt motor. Fuel economy is to be announced. We do not have official numbers. You can run this as pure EV. What my guess on the pure EV is around 30 miles on a single charge. Talking about top speed, 118 miles per hour. It can tow, like I told you, 3,500 pounds. And if you want to charge the battery, if you have a 240 hookup at your house, it takes 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you have a 120, it takes about 11 hours. And that's to get it from 0 to 100% charge. What's interesting is when we get into the interior, I will tell you about a special charge mode feature where you could actually drive and charge the battery while you're driving and save that charge. That to me is some interesting technology. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it roll. All right, guys, we're inside this all-new 2024 CX-90, sitting on what Mazda calls their large platform. First vehicle for it. Longer wheelbase is going to give us more room on this interior. Just wait. Now, I know you may be saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm a Toyota guy. I've been looking at the Highlander, the upcoming Grand Highlander. I need something larger for my family, but I've always been a Toyota guy. Back when I was in high school, I had an MR2, which I just got done restoring. I drive a Camry TRD, but I think I might switch. I think this CX-90 might be the way to go. How much is it? Very good question. So preferred trim, which is your starting trim, is right at $47,000. Premium Plus brings you up to $56,000. Let's see what you get for the money and how it compares to the Toyotas. To the door panels. Absolutely stunning. It looks like something from a German Euro brand. High level fit and finish at the top, soft material. I'm loving that silver metal trim that they have with the nice, elegant, classy design. You'll notice soft black leather with the tan contrast stitching, Bose sound system. Door pocket is a pretty decent size. You could probably get, I would say, 2 In-N-Out burgers in there, a large fry, and a bottle of Mountain Dew to wash it down. Now, to go from the door panel to the dash, you'll notice the little gold accents on the AC vents, that tan stitching. The leather is so soft in here, and that brings you front and center. 12.3-inch screen, all new, largest screen Mazda has. It is a floating iPad style, but they mount it so low that it does not block your vision. Is it a touchscreen? Technically, no. You could touch it, it just doesn't do anything unless you are using Apple CarPlay, which we are right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get to Apple CarPlay, which is real easy. Here it is. And now you could use the rotary knob, or what you could do is, watch this, you ready? I just touched it. And now I'm bringing up the navigation and stuff with Google Maps and Apple Maps and everything else. To go back to the Mazda setup, you hit here, and look, we're right back where we started. Let me show you some of the special things that Mazda has on this CX-90 plug-in electric hybrid. I hit information. We have a new drive efficiency monitor. You hit that, look, there's the lithium-ion battery pack, that 100 kilowatt motor, and it's showing you exactly your EV distance driven, regen energy, plus you then could come back and get into all your other information with fuel efficiency, the ratings, your range, the whole shabam. I like the way they have that right here, all in the same setup. There's your battery charge level with 95%. We got a total range of 300 miles. Pure EV, 27 miles. Nicely displayed, simple to understand. You have, of course, like I showed you, that forward-facing camera. Look at the clarity. Look at that. I could check out the 21-inch wheels. Looking really good. Obviously, throw the car into reverse. There's your backup. Same story with the trajectory, with your 360 cam. And the resolution is so super clear. That blows the Highlander right out of the water. Right out of the water. And then to bring back your maps, there you are. Easy peasy. You got your power on button because this is a plug-in electric hybrid. You do have your toggle switches, which are really nice. 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, and a heated steering wheel. Nicely contained with the dual climate control, wireless charging, a 12 volt, so you could run a radar detector if you need to for those special times, an MI drive controller, which I'll show you more of that on the business side. This guy right here is going to control your 8-speed automatic transmission. You got hill descent control, more of that metal style finish. Open the door, 2 cup holders, close the door, nice and clean. Direct drive control knob from Mazda. All the buttons, you even have a real volume knob. Look at the way they did this. Super soft, Charmin soft with the stitching. Open 1, open 2. Here's our Mazda key fob with the buttons on the side. And what you could do is you could actually have enough room in here to, remember when you were a kid and your grandmother gave you those chips? Not dolls, because they're not dolls, the chips action figures. You got Punch, you got his partner and everything. You could keep those in there with the 2 motorcycles. Remember, Chips, California Highway Patrol, watch out. Close it up. Seats, look at this, the softness of the leather, the stitching, the design, full electric assist for the passenger, of course, full electric assist for the driver, and we have a power shade with a panoramic sunroof. Goes all the way back. Like how simple the one-touch operation is, but why don't you come over to the business end? I got 12.3 inches. I want to show you a visual digital screen. Come on, guys, business time, continuing our first look. Don't forget, first drive, April 3rd, 8 a.m. Eastern time, but dropping it down, there's your power seat controls. You do have 2 memory seat settings, so you can let somebody borrow your CX-90 and not screw up all your seat settings. I'm 6 feet tall, and I really love the space. Not only do we have a longer wheelbase, it's a little bit wider, and just, it feels so good in here. And remember, we're not talking about a German Euro vehicle that costs twice as much as what this does. Steering wheel, that typical Mazda magic, the leather, the stitching, flat black on all the switch gear. You got your classy horn button. They should have put a little bit of stitching on the horn button, but that really is just a small zonk in the grand scheme of all zonks. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that new 8-speed automatic. This particular one is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then I promise you 12.3 inches, I'm gonna deliver. There's the screen size. Really clear graphics. You got your charge gauge, your power gauge. It lets you know when you're in pure EV. And then watch this. You got the 4 different modes. Sport, normal. Who the heck wants to be that? Not me. I like the way the graphics change. And then EV. Remember, you could do, I'm guesstimating around 30 miles on pure EV, and then even off-road. So they got you covered every way that you can imagine do it with those modes and the clarity and a supersized head-up display. So they got you. Compare that to the Highlander and the Grand Highlander. I think Toyota might be worried, but let's go ahead and get into the mid-row and, of course, the third row to see how much room is in this new CX-90. All right, guys, mid-row time. And just like the seats up front, the rear mid-row seats are looking fantastic. This particular one does not have the center console. You can option one with a center console April 3rd. Watch that review, not only to see us drive it, but also the center console. This has the captain's chairs. I am going to have to zonk that armrest. It needs to be a little bit wider. Just something to point out. And it's ratcheting, so you could actually adjust it at different levels. I guess that's kind of cool. Back of the seat, first of all, my OCD is really bothering me. There we go. Now we can move on. Let me make sure this one. Okay. I feel better now. You do have a pretty decent sized pocket. You could put, I would say, about 10 50s records back here. You got some Beach Boys. You got some, Elvis Presley. Put those records back here. Then you could go surfing USA all day long. In the back command center, you do have your 2 AC vents, USB-Cs, 3 stages of heated seats. You can get ventilated, just so you know. And you do have your climate control back here. I like the way it leans forward. It's easy to see and easy to get to. I'm sitting back here. I feel pretty good. I feel better now because you could actually slide the seat. And are you ready for it? You can recline the seat just a little bit, but hey, a little bit is better than none at all. That's what my mom used to tell me when I would ask her for like packs of baseball cards or anything like that. And she would just buy me 2 packs. And I said, well, I really want 4 packs. And she's like, be happy with what you have. It's better than nothing. Speaking of what you have, you don't have the center console area, but you do have these 2 little kind of cup holders with a little tiny tray where you can put some Twizzlers here. Interesting how they did that. Very, very small on the cup holders. So you're going to have to go with a small size Slurpee. I'd rather have Super Slurpee. That's just me. But why don't we go ahead? It's not just about the mid-row. Let's get into the third row and see how the CX-90 does it against the Highlander and Grand Highlander. Let's get back there. All right, guys, third row time. Sometimes I'm happy that I get into the vehicle in the third row off camera. It was a little tight getting in. Once I got in, though, you drop into the seat. What's nice is that I'm just under the height of the headliner. So I'm not really touching it with my head. As you can see, I do have the seat still in the same position I had it. I have plenty of knee room. My knees really aren't too high. It's just a problem with my feet. I would have to sit like that. Okay, let's go. I'm ready to go. And then if we have to do some type of exercise where we have to jump out real quick, my foot is gonna get stuck as it just did. Thankfully, this doesn't have the center console area, so I could kind of stretch out and be chilling like a villain back here. But technically, my foot needs to go right there. Knees aren't incredibly heavy, high. The good news is that the seat kind of angles back, and that takes the knees out of my mouth. But it would be nicer if my legs were a little bit lower. I think the thing we all need to figure out and learn is that if you want your third row passengers to be just as comfortable as everybody else, you need to go full-size SUV. Stop playing this game with mid-size SUVs. You need to go full-size. This is a mid-size SUV. One thing I don't like is, if you notice, you got the same design, but the seats don't have the perforated look to them. So they're a little different than the rest of the seats. You do have a USB-A. You do have your cup holders and an AC vent. It kind of chills your calves. It's really low. It's right there. I'm sure Lori's able to get it on camera for you, but I think I can handle a few miles back here. I've been in worse. I could tell you that much. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area and see how much mail we could haul. Literally, I want to get envelopes, packages, maybe even some boxes of stamps and put them back there and see how much mail we could haul in the CX-90. All right, guys, time to get in the cargo area. Before I do, I want to show you where you actually plug in, since this is a plug-in electric hybrid. It's not on the driver's side. That's where you're going to put your regular fuel. It's going to be on the passenger side. I already have the door open so Lori can show off where you're going to plug in. And it's real simple. You pull this out, plug in. You could do it at home. You could do it at work. You could do it at Whole Foods and have that charge. And what's interesting is, depending on how far away you live from work, it is possible to drive this vehicle pure EV and not even use a drop of fuel. But let's get into the cargo area. That's the big hot topic with these mid-size 3-row SUVs. Hit the button, rises up. You're going to be greeted to almost 15 cubic feet of space. It's 14.9 cubic feet of space. I like the way they take care of you when it comes to power. You got a 12 volt, you got a home power source, and then guess what? On the other side, they give you another home power source. LED lighting, nice that they take care of you that way. Now it's time to put down the seats. Now the challenge is in the Zonk is that if you have your baby in your arms, you're gonna need 2 hands to put the seats down. So either put the baby on the floor or already have these seats down before you pick up the baby. But watch how easy it is. Nice 60-40 split, no electric motors, no gimmicks or anything like that. You just pull and push. Pull and push. I already have the mid-row down to maximize the cargo for you. And this is what I was telling you about, USB-C, 2 cup holders, and the AC vents. Now let's talk about space. We went from 15 cubic feet of space all the way up to a maximum of 74 cubic feet of space. Now, if you're wondering, if you just put the 3rd row down, what does that give you? That gives you 40. So you go 14.9, 40, and then a maximum of 74 cubic feet of space. It's pretty flat. It's not totally flat. Obviously, with the lithium-ion battery pack and all those other goodies, that's what you're seeing. Underneath here, you lift this up. Here's all your charging accessories. Easy to get to. And you got a couple places where you could easily slide 6 Twinkies in here. You could put a couple ding-dongs and ho-hos in this container and separate your Hostess snacks. I like to keep my Hostess snacks separate. I don't like to mix them all together. And then real simple, nice and flat like that. Hit the button. I know you're ready to go on throttle. I'm ready to take you. But guess what? This is just the first look. Stay tuned for the first drive. Mark your calendar right now. Do it now. Get your phone out. Put it in the calendar. April 3rd, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. 8 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We're going to go on throttle, not only in this one, but also with the 3.3 liter turbocharged engine, the straight 6. But we got to get out of here because these savage geese are about to attack us. Let's wrap it up from Sonoma Valley. All right, guys. It's been a great day showing you all the details on this new CX-90. Like I said, mark your calendar, set your watch, carve it in your freaking skin. April 3rd at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have the official full drive in a totally different CX-90. That's that new artisan red color. So stay tuned for that. Definitely want to thank the whole Mazda team for inviting us out to Sonoma Valley to give you access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you gonna go CX-90 over a Highlander or even the Grand Highlander? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Of course, we gotta give it up to Lori, working that camera like a champ, fending off the savage geese here at the park. Show her some love in the comment section. Hey, Jack and Mark. Lori's giving you a big thumbs up right now. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.